Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Diaz.
I'm Chris.
I'm Scott.
I'm Newman.
I'm Ian.
And we're keeping you in the loop with the guitar community.
It's not picking up. This is awkward.
Okay, so that was the theme music. All right. So
I'll
just
put
to
it
let-
in and post.
Oh my gosh. Are you actually going to do post on this?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's
Do I
fine.
ever do
Okay.
post other than slapping a compressor on?
Yeah, and getting rid of my weaselly nose. All right, so really quick,
Yep.
this isn't like, I guess this is kind of an episode, but it's not like we're not following the format because with everything going on with COVID-19, all that fun stuff, we know that people are extremely bored trying to find things to occupy time. So we had the great idea. So let's put out some more content so at least people can listen to us ramble about bull crap instead of fighting with people online about COVID-19 like I've been doing. This is actually an intervention for me.
It's
But-
not real.
Yes,
Shut
it's not your
the-
fault. It's not your fault,
All right.
Diaz.
Don't Robin Williams me.
It's
Okay.
not your fault.
But yeah, so we're not really going to be like going through a whole bunch of stuff. I figure we'll just talk about some stuff. I think we had a really cool topic because Michael has a Strat, and Scott said he doesn't seem as a Strat person. So who here does not own a Strat?
I think we all own Strats.
I know. Well, Ian owns a Strat Style for
I've
sure.
got a Fender. I've also got the PRS Silver Sky, and then if we're really splitting hairs, I've got a Squire.
I have a Squire as well. I love my Squire. I feel like everyone should have a Strat.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If not a Strat style guitar.
Now, is there a point in owning multiple Strats?
Yeah. Different types of pickups. Maybe. Oh, I saw something really cool the other day. Was people actually using 9-volt battery clips to change out.
Jack.
Yeah, connect
yeah.
your output jack. And you know what? I'm really surprised that has not become a common thing because, you know, when you get a loaded pick guard for a Strat, one of the main things is the only soldering that you really have to do is output jack, and they can eliminate that as well. I feel like we should talk to Sean at Gun Street Wiring and be like, dude, you need to make this part of your thing.
So
Yeah,
I just
for whatever
actually
reason.
implemented a loaded pick guard in my Strat yesterday or 2 days ago maybe, and was thinking about this. You know, people talk about soldered versus unsoldered connections when it comes to like patch cables. So I'm curious. I'd imagine that the same argument kind of holds that like it's not an airtight or gas tight connection, but I feel like for the most part it'd be fine.
It's a
if you
metal on metal connection.
connect
Yeah, I felt like especially the 9-volt connectors versus what is it? Quick plugs, I think is what
Yeah.
Guitar Fetish calls them. Their little proprietary thing.
People will argue that sometimes the contacts will oxidize, but you know, and that can kind of.
Yeah, but over how long of a time?
I know, right? Yeah.
It seems it's like, listen, in like 78 years, it's gonna be oxidized.
Right.
So
Yeah, like if you happen to be like shooting a Nirvana album cover underwater, like
well, the thing is like I always want to. If I was buying a Strat and they're like, listen, it doesn't have a standard connection, it uses the 9-volt clip, I'd actually be pretty excited. I'd be like, oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Someone just hit a fly.
Sorry, I was clapping at a fly. I didn't realize I had unmuted. I forgot I unmuted myself. I was talking to
it's
my son
fine.
earlier, so when y'all started. As far as
No,
Strats, I don't consider myself necessarily a Strat guy, but there are times when I feel it's necessary to have a Strat.
If you're playing
So-
like funk or like old school gospel, yeah, you need to have a Strat.
Yeah, the in between positions are a lot of fun.
Mm.
Yes. What was it? John Mayer lives in the 4th position pretty much.
Oh, does
Yep.
he?
4 and
Yes.
5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just want to point out this great concept by our friend Doug Cower has perfected this issue where it's not an issue at all. You put the input jack on the pickguard, and then you put a quick disconnect on the ground. Problem solved.
Nice.
See, I'm not a fan of the input jack on a pick guard for some reason.
I will say on the Titan, when you plug in and out, there is a little bit of flex, and it makes me a little nervous. But he's not
That's
using
what I
those
do
kind of
not
like
like.
old. He's not using those old pick guards that snap or shrink.
Is-
So
Is there a screw on the bottom tip?
there's a screw right here. There's one right here, here, and here.
Yeah, it needs like 2 more to.
So
get rid
you
that
kind of
flex.
almost you want like almost a little bit of a metal plate here just to give it a little more reinforcement. But it's really been fine so far.
Now, depending on the type of jack there, I know that how hard you tighten down the nut on the jack can kind of have an impact on how easy or difficult it is to plug and unplug your cable. So it might be worth backing that off just a little bit. Depending on the type of connector.
That and just don't use monster cables.
Yep. Well, they're not even a thing anymore, are they?
I think
Are
they're
they?
still a thing, aren't they?
Well, I know they've been having. There's a big problem because they like really don't honor their. Like a lot of people got their stuff because they're like, oh, it had a lifetime warranty. I remember back in the day, Guitar Center when I bought one,
Yeah.
they're like, listen, you could stand right in front of me, cut in half, and we'll replace it.
Well,
Like,
what happens
crazy.
is, yeah, they're like, what happens is too many people take advantage of that. But
Oh, so I should have stopped cutting them in half right in front of the guy.
Yeah.
I was on my 17th one.
you
He's like,
ruined
"Okay,
it for all of
guy."
us, Diaz. You ruined it for all of us.
I ruined monster
It happens,
cables.
though, you know.
What was that?
I said it's a fun way to spend a Saturday.
That is just effing with Guitar Center employees.
Yeah.
It's
With that
kind of like when
backdrop
drunk
of
people
Enter Sandman played over and over and over and over again.
I saw a thing that said like don't play these songs because it used to be just Stairway, and now it's been added to like the intro to Lenny says don't play it unless you know the whole song. Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm guilty of like a lot of these actually. I was like, anytime I play a strat, I hit that boom.
How do you test a spring reverb?
It's very true.
Or
Well,
position 4.
I do the spring reverb. The way I always do a spring reverb is I crank it and then I play Adventure's Rift.
That's not a bad idea.
Hey,
I'm trying to think
shut
of a few of the other
up.
ones, like our generation's Stairway, or essentially the one, the song people play too much in a store. I feel like The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring was a really overused riff. Is that
Which one?
isn't it The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring?
I don't know. How does that go?
I'm going to Google it. Yeah, that helps you. I don't know. There's just one.
Play it for the group.
Yes. Why don't I play it right now? Let's get a copyright strike. Sorry, my phone has not stopped ringing today. It's one of those annoying days. But think of what are the other ones like? Weezer,
I mean,
probably.
strictly from our strictly from like this generation or still
Yeah.
songs because I think everybody's still playing like Sweet Home Alabama and things like that.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, I'm back.
Funny how you never see like U2 songs on those lists.
That was
I don't
great
think I've
audio
ever-
quality there.
Yep. Phone up to a microphone. That's the best way to do it.
yeah, maybe Say It Ain't So by Weezer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great. That's what I use for like if I'm doing like a nice fuzz. The I
Mm-hmm.
feel like everyone has their go-to riffs for a certain thing. Like honestly, if I'm playing like a telly or if I'm playing any sort of like single coil, I always want to do Funk Number 49 by was it the James Gang or whatever it's. That's a fun one, and that one I do that into Good Love Is on the Way by John Myers.
That's a good one.
Love John Myers.
Fantastic artist, John
Any
Myers.
relation to Zach Myers?
No, but he is cousins of Michael Myers.
Oh, that's inconvenience.
Let's talk about acoustic.
Oh, acoustic riff? Like go-to? I'd have to say one of my acoustic go-tos would have to be Just Breathe by Pearl Jam. It's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
And also I love to do was a Rusted Root song, On My Way
Mm-hmm.
from Matilda.
Dave Matthews Crash Into Me is a classic acoustic test.
You know what? I was
So,
actually
I always do
rehearsing
Lie
that.
in Our Graves.
I like to do American Baby.
Oh,
That's a fun one because especially like if I'm messing with like a looper or something, I like to layer that. But the chord structure on that one's great.
what about so I have a few older ones, but like Sucker by John Mayer's one I always do because it like if you're testing an acoustic, generally your G, C, and D are all going to sound good. The question is, can you play the guitar above the 5th fret?
Mhm.
And so that's a good one just to kind of move around a little bit while still getting a lot of like intonation things in it. It's an old John Mayer song though.
Well, is that off Room for Squares?
I think it's Inside Wants Out, or it might just be like a B-side that just like floated around back in like the Napster days.
Sucker must have to be a B-side, like YouTube deep cut.
Yeah.
I always like to test out like an open E string, and then on the A string, I fret the 11th, or I go up to the 11th fret. I like to hear that how that sounds, because that kind of gives you an idea of intonation and stuff. There's a song I like to play. I'm gonna have to look it up. Hold on, I'm gonna mute. I'll come back.
Dad, I heard Daddy.
I like to do a lot of like the open E chord, walk ups kind of stuff. There's a song out, if you guys know the band Camino, they've got a song that uses those chords. But I kind of just have my own riffs that I've
You're
come
the
up
only
with.
other person I've met that knows them.
Really?
Yeah, I used to go to church with a lot of the guys in the band.
Oh, that's awesome.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What band was that?
The
They're
band Camino.
really like, I love them to death. All my friends love them to death.
Yeah, so like Jeffrey Jordan used to be one of the worship leaders at our church, and Graham would fill in bass sometimes.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has that one band that they were like 2 degrees of separation from growing up in some way or another. So like if you're a Chicago suburbs kid, chances are you know somebody who claims they know Fall Out Boy. But like for me, locally, it was this band called, oh gosh, why can't I remember their name anymore?
That would be a good
Wow. Crap.
I played at the same church as some guys from Disciple.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Who?
I used to listen to Disciple back in the day.
yeah, back in the day, not currently.
No. Okay, so the song I like to play is it's called "The Ache" by My Fever, and My Fever is one word. They never got huge, I don't think, but some people that kind of down in the Panhandle that I had known through some other people. I don't really know them, but some people I know that know them. It's a pretty cool song.
Yeah, Landslide is probably one that I like to go for as well.
I always like playing Dust in the Wind. That's a good one.
Do you sing the Will Ferrell version?
You're my boy,
Dust
boy.
in the Wind?
Yeah.
No.
You just immediately start too high for yourself right off the bat.
Oh. Oh.
Anyway, Lucky Boys Confusion was the band I was thinking of that a bunch of people went to high school with down in
Never heard of
Downers
them.
Grove, Illinois. Yeah, I don't think they really broke out of Chicago that well.
Okay.
I think I'm like 3 degrees of separation from a lot of bands. I know people who know people who know people. But
I know someone who knows the drummer in Heart.
So there's as
The
good as I.
helmet off, you're not outside.
When I was in high school, I ran sound for an 80s rock Christian band. And just to give you an idea, I was in high school in the 90s. So, and I actually loved it. They were awesome guys. And I love their albums because I just love them. But very, very, very 80s. Very 80s. Like the lead singer
Is this
kind of
Whitechapel?
had a. No. It's a band you never heard of outside of West Virginia. Under
Mountain
Authority was their name.
Mama, take me home.
No, it wasn't like that at all. He actually sounded, the lead singer sounded a lot like, at least his range was more like Rush.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool guys. And the guitar player, I took lessons from him for a while. I absolutely adore those guys. And that's just the music they were into. And I actually loved it, man. It gave me something to do in high school. I, quote unquote, ran sound for them, even though I had no idea what I was doing. So,
I think every person at one point like ran sound for like their friends or something because they wanted to be a part of the group before they were like really a part of the group. I was one of those guys. I had no clue what I was doing.
yeah.
See, I had the opposite problem. I knew what I was doing, so I always got asked to do it.
You're like, can I play guitar? No, you can play the soundboard.
No, you know how to do sound and lights. You can do that instead. It's like,
Yeah, until very recently, I was probably more used at a soundboard, but I just sit there the whole time and just kind of be jealous or angry.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that has I've been working on it, but I've had a super bad problem of anytime I'm not playing, like critiquing the people playing. I'm horrible. I used to be. I've gotten a lot better about it because I have to like stop myself and I'm like, yeah, it's not that simple. You know this. But all right, so let's move on to one of the real topic at hand, which is a chicken nugget a meatball? What?
Yes.
Who just had an idea?
Yes, changed my mind.
It's not. Okay, it's not a meatball. Number one, it's not round.
Yes, it is.
is round one of the
No.
shapes from McDonald's? Like one of the official shapes? Is round
No,
one of
because
the
even
official-
then, it's like it's not. I'm sorry, Scott. I got it. It's not. They're not round. If it's round, it's popcorn chicken almost.
Okay, first off, let's dial in. Is popcorn chicken a chicken nugget?
Mm.
Okay, but what
No.
makes a meatball? Is it the way it's made, or is it the fact that it's a compressed
Ball of
thing of
literally a
meat?
ball of meat.
It's a pressed ball of meat with breading.
I still
I'm going to argue.
Okay,
that-
but what holds it all together, though?
Love.
flavor.
Hey Siri,
I'm gonna
what
tell you-
is the definition of a
Congealed fats.
meatball?
a chicken nugget and popcorn chicken are not
A
the
ball
same.
of ground
And
or chopped meat, usually beef, with added seasonings.
It's a ball of ground or chopped meat, usually beef, with added seasonings.
Usually.
But it's a ball. See, that's the whole thing. But it's a ball. A chicken nugget is not a ball. Now, if you put chicken into a ball, it's popcorn chicken.
I think you're constraining yourself to one shape of chicken nugget, but there's at least 5 shapes of chicken nuggets.
Okay, you show me.
So some
a-
chicken nuggets are meatballs, but not others.
Okay, I'll actually bend to that one. A chicken nugget has the possibility of being a meatball.
It's like the square rhombus idea.
Right. All squares are rhombuses, but not all rhombuses are squares.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all hot dogs are sandwiches, but not all sandwiches are hot dogs.
Fuck you.
We're straying from the topic at hand.
So I'm
That's
looking
always
through
the
some
topic.
recipes.
Oh my gosh.
Let me-
I was waiting to look up and see Chris like with a recipe book, like a Paula Deen book. Hold on 1 second.
Butter, oil. Butter, oil.
No, they have to have
Salt.
eggs. Let me grab my official Colorado Cash cookbook.
Is it just a hollowed out book with weed inside of it?
I wish.
Hold on 1 second. That reminds me. I got to make a text message really quick. 1 second.
That's a scratch and sniff.
Ooh. That's the cocaine one. That's
Isn't that what you're doing when you're not reading the book?
Do you think? Are you talking about the cocaine one or the weed? 'Cause people who smoke weed don't do that all the time.
Just
Have
cocaine.
you ever seen me do this all the time? No.
Well, you usually turn your camera off first, but
That's very true. That's because, well, never mind. We're not going to go into what I do while we're recording. Usually, I'm not wearing pants. Is honestly the big thing.
dude,
Like-
you're just making it worse. You're making it worse. Oh,
Okay.
that can't be unseen. Oh,
No, listen. I'm still wearing underwear. Okay, when you're at your house and you're not doing anything, does anyone else just like wear boxer briefs and in a shirt?
I've got a roommate, so
Okay.
no.
Well, all right. That's fair. Thank you for being a decent human in that case. But I've got my family. Who cares about them? Gosh.
yes. Did you change your background to Dark Forces?
That's Star Wars for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Star Wars. That's why I had the Stormtrooper
I-
helmet on. That was the joke.
Open the blast doors, dude.
Open the blast doors.
Open the blast.
Right there. They're right there.
Okay, so to circle back around, is egg considered an essential ingredient for meatballs? Because every recipe I've seen,
Yeah, of
requires
course.
meatballs.
No.
Okay,
But
so-
no. An egg is not chicken. You don't sit there and say, "Hey, you want some chicken?" And if I brought you eggs, you'd be like, "What the hell's the matter with you? Are you stoned right now?" So don't even start with that.
So,
No.
So do
I
you,
meant-
are,
An
are-
egg is a byproduct of a chicken. Wait, Michael
No, 'cause
Newman is a
you can make
farmer.
vegan meatballs,
Michael?
so
Michael, we need answers here.
we're on delay.
He has to unmute himself.
is an egg a chicken?
Not yet.
No,
Oh,
no,
crap, I
because
just-
even then, the eggs that we eat are not able to become chickens. They eat it like a special feed, don't they?
no.
Okay,
Michael,
repeat the question here. What are we talking about?
Okay, all right, Michael. Is number one, is an egg considered chicken?
Well, technically, what we eat as eggs, that yellow part, is actually what the chick inside grows and eats. And that's its substance before it hatches.
Okay,
So the yellow part is actually chicken food, not the chicken itself.
okay. So what
Does that
is the
make
chicken
sense?
itself?
Well, it has to grow. You have to incubate it, and it's got to turn into a chick inside the egg.
Okay,
So that yellow yolk part is food for the chick, and that's why chicks. Long story short, here, when a mother hen sits on a batch of eggs, they don't all hatch at the same time. So, so she may wait 2 or 3 days before they all hatch, and that yellow, the yolk that's inside the egg, is absorbed into the chick, and it gives it food, so it doesn't have to eat right away after it hatches.
science, guys.
Hmm.
All right. So, but my argument would, just like with the hot dog situation, if I said, "Hey, do you want some chicken?" and I brought you a bowl of scrambled eggs, you'd look at me like I'm crazy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so egg is not chicken. Doesn't count.
Now, when I said I want all your eggs, you might be hearing that I want some eggs. I literally want all of your eggs.
All
Thanks,
right,
Ron.
Ron.
Little Ron Burgundy.
No, Ron Swanson.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Wrong. That's
Yeah,
hard to say.
not the other Ron that lives out in the woods.
Oh my gosh, is that a? 1 second. I'm gonna go punch a dog.
That was my dog. If you're hearing it, Lucy.
The whining? Is that your dog?
Yes, the whining. Yes.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so real, like it's a real dog.
You sure you're a real dog?
I thought it was my dog. I go out and I yell at my dog, and he's just like, "What? I wasn't even doing anything."
Yeah, her mother just left like 30 minutes ago, and she's still upset.
Oh,
You poor thing.
give it some CBD oil. Get it to chill out.
I mean, we give her stems to knock her the fuck out.
No stems, no seeds that you don't need. All right, sorry, that was a Cheech and Chong reference. If anyone got that. Okay.
So today's April 3rd. So we did just pass April Fool's Day. Did anyone see anything good this year, or did it just all get canceled?
Okay,
I think
the
everything
best
just got
one that
canceled.
the best one that I saw was an article going around that said that they were removing liquor stores from the non-essential or from the essential list, and I actually clicked the link because I was like, oh hell no.
I saw
So,
I saw one from Avid where they did a fake product announcement where they have the artist mix and those things where it's like 20 faders in one big interface, and they just had a single fader. It's just one. And it was just a fader, and I think they're going to get pushed to like people are like, no, that's actually what we want. We just want one. Sell it to us for less than $200, please.
I did see. I believe it was. Oh dang it! What's their name? He sounded like a German guy, but they do tempered frets a lot on some of their guitars.
The Squigglies.
But who's Jason? Who's one of the guitar companies that he likes? It's the ones without the head. It's a
Steinberg?
headless. No, Steinberg's one of the old ones. It's one of the newer ones, I think.
Is it Kiesel?
No. What did sorry, I'm totally blanking. The Practical Guitarist podcast. David.
Yep.
What did he just get?
Dave Hill. Oh, I don't know what he just got, actually. Are you sure it's not a Kiesel?
Maybe he did get a Kiesel. It wasn't
He
Kiesel,
likes
though.
Kiesels.
I'm not sure, but
So it's not
Anywho.
Strandberg, it's not Schechter, it's not.
oh,
Ibanez.
Strandberg. It's Strandberg. Someone said Steinberg.
I did.
Oh,
Okay, they actually came out for April Fool's Day with tempered strings. And it was absolutely, if you watch the video, it's dead serious. And they had it was tempered strings. The strings were actually like bent. Like I'm guessing they probably took like a needle nose pliers, and you know how you can like bend your string and it has that little indentation left.
you crimped them.
Yeah, crimp them. Thank you. But yes, they actually did tempered strings. So that was pretty funny because I saw it and I was at first I was like, that's insane. And then I was like, wait, it's April Fool's Day. So there's that.
It definitely kind of came and went this year.
Yeah, I think no one was really in the mood to
Did JHS do
do that.
anything? They
Probably
usually do
not.
something.
They usually do
Wampler
something
has done
epic.
stuff.
Let's see. I didn't see JHS do anything.
Oh, and I didn't see Wampler do anything either. I mean, they did like the Hairstortion in the past and some of those kind of things that were pretty fun.
They did a rock and roll trivia game show on 4/1. His camera phone's broken. That's funny.
Didn't Kiesel come up with some video game making fun of their owner?
Oh yeah,
Like-
I saw that.
Day in the life. I barely saw it, but that's about the only thing I saw. Oh, I did see some pedal. It was like called Hype or something like that. It basically did nothing, but I don't even know who was behind it.
Oh, didn't
wasn't-
someone make a like a build your own hype kit, and it's just a box with two with a cord?
Maybe that was it. What I saw was a promo though. They walked up to a guitar, picked it up, walked over, plugged it in, played the guitar, hit the pedal, played the guitar, nothing changed. If I remember
They
correctly.
got
I
that
don't
hype
remember.
going.
Oh, Leon, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
It's going good. How you doing, buddy?
I picked the right
Good.
mug for today's
Oh,
today's
yes.
session.
Yeah, so we were just, Leon, since you're jumping in, we were just talking about, did you see any good April Fools? Or because it seemed like a lot of people kind of didn't go that route with everything going on.
I didn't see a single one.
There was I saw the tempered strings from Strandberg. That was pretty funny. but that was pretty much it. And it's kind of crazy this year. I think like we're postponing it. Maybe we'll just do April Fools in like August.
Because we did 60 Cycle Praise and Worship opened again, and
It's
to be
still
honest,
open.
Ryan didn't want to close it. I think he's just hoping we burn ourselves out, so we stop doing it.
No.
But,
It'll never get old.
I don't
I
know. It
found
kind
it
of got old
kinda-
this year.
Yeah, I found it kind of annoying. It was like, okay.
I think my first post in there was I don't feel like dealing with this shit this year. Oh wait. This one is still technically Leon based.
Oh.
It's got the topper.
I will admit I just loaned like all of my Pelican stuff over to a buddy to try out, so I have nothing in my house right now.
Nice.
I was lucky. I went through a mass exodus of pedals whenever I was unemployed there, and I did not have to sell one Pelican Noiseworks pedal.
Oh, did you even keep the pink one?
Yep, I've still got my Pelotar.
Oh wow, nice.
Oh, I also put it up for a crazy amount of money to like so hoping it wouldn't sell. Oh my gosh, everyone's joining in now. It must be that everyone's waking up. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Here's my little favorite one nobody else has got.
Oh, snap.
Is that just 2 momentary switches for
Yeah, it's for the stomp.
nice?
And then look at that.
Ooh.
The box has even got my name
I
on
forgot
it.
about that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if
you did that for me.
we've got Leon on the phone right now, and someone's been teasing something new from Pelican Noiseworks.
That's true.
Oh yeah, yeah. What?
He's like, that's it. That's all I can say is, oh yeah, there is
That's
something.
all you're sharing.
I will say that it's not necessarily new.
All right, so are
Oh,
you
we're
doing
getting a
a
Squatch
limited
edition
run?
of something.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. Well, it'll play. Yeah, whenever this podcast is up, it's probably already out.
When is it releasing? What day?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just shipped them to them, and they're like, "All right, cool, thanks." And then they started posting pictures of them. I'm like, "All right, let's do it." No, there's something like 7 of them. It's a half horse with a walnut top.
Okay,
Different
nice.
artwork.
You know, I think
yeah,
the half horse is the only one I don't have yet.
Get it. Oh my gosh. Listen, hold on. The half horse is honestly on the entire line. I think it's the one that didn't get enough credit. Like it's such a fantastic fuzz that I mean, even if you roll it back, it has a nice overdrive sound as well. I think Leon and I talked about it whenever it first came out, because when he released it, I was like staying up late, like wanting to be one of the first ones to order it. And it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, it's my favorite for sure. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it-
that's
and,
why
like,
it's built
his-
into my guitar.
Well, that's like, because I mean the Pelotar gets, I mean, it's usable and it can get pretty crazy, but the half horse is the easiest to adjust because you've got that giant
Yeah.
grain knob, and it's a single pedal enclosure. It's easy to keep on your board. See, there it is. I love the glue.
My favorite is the secret on a Pelotar. If you turn it on with nothing plugged into the input, it becomes a cowbell.
Are we gonna unmute John? Or are we just gonna keep him on mute? Mute
No.
John.
I can
There he
unmute
is.
myself, homies.
Okay.
How's it
I'm
going,
not one
John?
of those people that mutes myself. I'm just like, you will hear all the background noise. I don't.
Meeting etiquette inspired by my years in corporate America.
No. If I mute myself, it's because I am not paying attention to that meeting at all,
Yeah.
and I want to hurry up and get off the phone call as much as possible. Like, do you have any questions? And you just want to hop on and be like, everyone, shut up. We are hanging up now.
Hey, John, what red guitar is that on your wall? Is that a casino or something else?
It's Epiphone Wildcat. It's
Oh, nice.
it's the Wildcat, whatever the deluxe, like it's like the Game of the Year edition one.
Nice.
So it's got like the
Yeah.
plus top and the Bigsby and all that.
Are those semi-hollow or fully hollow?
They're semi. Yeah, it's got a center block.
I love a semi-hollow.
I've never been able to bond with a fully hollow guitar.
Oh, I
I-
disagree.
I had like a 64 like Conrad, which was like a Japanese, like Fuji Gen sort of ES-175 knockoff. And yeah, it felt weird for being like an acoustic. Like I came from the acoustic world, and I thought like, oh yeah, it'd be great. I don't know. Same thing with like all the fully hollow Gretches I've ever played. Just doesn't jive for me.
So this guy is one of my favorites I own. Fully
Is
hollow.
it the Epiphone Century?
Yep. One P90.
Oh, nice.
I gotta
That is
replace
cool.
the P90 on it, but it is fantastic.
Well,
It
since
just
we're
looks like
showing,
James Bay.
Yeah, bud.
this is my hollow body Eastman, a T58.
I've still
Got
got to get my
T-Jones.
hands on some Eastmans, man. You keep pumping them up.
I-
and I haven't
That's
gotten
like the
a chance to try 'em.
Filtertron things going on. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's very Gretchy. And this is my number one. It's my Eastman T486B, but it's got upgraded pickups.
Those the
Oh.
Lambertone Crema filters or something like that. They kinda look
Yes.
like that.
How did
Yeah.
you know?
Because you play praise and worship music.
Yeah.
So you have
Yep,
to have
that's exactly it. That's 100%.
So
Um,
you
Like,
have
do
to
you,
have a guitar with Lambertones in it.
I don't actually. However, one of our
Case in point.
sub-in drummers is like either like family friends or like a distant cousin to Curtis. I don't know, legacy, I guess. I'm constantly reminded that I'm actually more qualified to work at a guitar shop than I am to actually play guitar.
Oh, so I got my mom on the Babylon Bee the other week, and so she periodically sends me the articles they share. And yesterday she sent me the number of pedals on a guitar player's board outnumbers number of chords he knows by 3 to 1.
That's an old one. Like she had to dig for that just to to
Uh-huh.
smoke you. That's
They-
impressive.
They
She's
reshare
reading
a
it on
lot.
an iPad like it's an actual newspaper. You're like, oh, okay.
Man, if they can get Babylon Bee to like feed into like the Apple News like app, that would be epic.
Oh my.
Like
Well, the problem is, too many people. No one knows how to tell if anything's satirical anymore.
I know.
Like it's absolutely ridiculous. I just want to like, I copy and paste. This is a satirical website. This is satire.
No, I mean, part of it's just
and
everyone's
that's
on
and
such
that's
a hair
depending
trigger.
on. Yeah, but that also depends that people know what the word satire means.
What'd you call me? Hold on. No.
No, I'm sitting in a chair, not a tire. John, what's new in your
John,
world,
what's
man?
that black guitar behind you? The other one.
Oh man, that was a Christmas present a couple years ago from my wife. It's an Oscar Schmidt Delta King, so it's like Washburn's like you
Yeah.
know Mega Blocks brand.
Nice.
But yeah, it's aight. It's got the standard pickups in it. I usually use it when I do slide stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, it
And I
just
see you
kinda
got a
nar-
semi-hollow telly back there too. You're just all about the semi-hollow.
That one I actually built. Wow, kind of built myself. I bought this like hack job, semi-hollow, like thin line style body from eBay or something. And my buddy Lars and I rerouted it out because I got a couple of free like Gretsch mini humbuckers from a buddy of mine. I was like, well, I'll use them. And so I've got it set up kind of like a Cabernita sort of job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they still make the
through my box.
Cabernita telly? Or is that done?
I've never actually seen a production model one.
I just
There's so
remember
many guitars that like people. I don't understand why companies don't make certain guitars. Leon could probably agree with me because we've had this conversation. Like the DG 335, like it's such a sought after
Nice.
guitar. They could make killer money off of it. Like
Oh,
why do these companies stop making these? Like that's like the Thin Line Deluxe. It's just a guitar. I don't know why they don't make it anymore.
Yeah.
That like people just absolutely go nuts for.
it does feel like a Dave Grohl Epiphone would just sell like crazy.
No, even
Oh,
if they
yeah.
did an actual production line of the Gibson one.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
they did a few
could-
years ago. They did that other run of them, but
Well, the thing
but it's always a limited round. It's
Right.
not like a full production. Like I would love to be able to go to my local guitar shop, my local Gibson dealer, and be able to play one at least.
Are you talking about the Grohl guitar?
Yes, the Dave Grohl 335.
Now,
For driving up the value, though.
there's a.
But they don't make any more money off of it.
Yeah.
See,
That's the thing
is,
because it's all used.
Dave wasn't the first one to play.
That's a Trini Lopez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah,
There's
But
a
the
different bridge on
difference
the Trini
is-
Lopez.
yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah,
they have the
it's been-
Trini Lopez has a trapeze bridge while the Dave Grohl is a stop tail.
I think it's
Right.
different pickups too, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine Dave Grohl using like those old school pickups for the style that he plays. He
or
would need
stop
something
tail on a
little bit
floating
hotter.
bridge.
Yeah.
one hit into like the solo of Monkey Wrench, and like the bridge would fly off in the audience.
Well, even then, it's like the crazy thing is too because they've got to still be making them because Dave gives them out like presents all the
Yeah.
time. So I want like he really does. Like
Yeah.
there's there's the videos of like you see was it Pat Smear's like yeah Dave gave me a few of these and like da 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 and like the kid went on stage and Dave gave him his guitar and it's like we're like they're still making them at some point. Why not just make a bunch of them?
Yeah, and you know,
he's single-handedly keeping Gibson in business with
That's
that.
it.
you know that's what really separates like frontmen the caliber of Dave Grohl from like others. And I've been a Green Day fan for forever. You know, and if you look at some of the rig rundowns on Billy Joe's stuff, like they're parts casters that you know they give out. You know, when I mean that's awesome that they still do.
Best.
But like Grohl's giving a freaking USA Gibson, like
Right.
custom shop
There's-
nonetheless.
yeah, exactly. There's something cool there.
I wonder who can make more money on a tour, Green Day or Foo Fighters.
Probably.
I would say Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
I would have to assume Foo Fighters because Green Day is becoming a little bit not obscure, but just non-relevant.
yeah.
Have they gotten a second generation of fans the way Weezer did?
No, I don't think so because they're not really
No.
putting out. I mean, what's the last thing that they really put out? I know they put out Uno Dos Tres, and then
They just
they
put
just
out,
dropped another one. Yeah.
Yeah, Revolution Radio was 2017, and then Father of All came out
So
last
I-
year.
I think what kind of jump started them was a little bit was when the American Idiot musical came out, and you know you had all the theater kids, which I can say somewhat derogatorily because I used to be one, and you know being like, oh my god, this is so cool, and you know then, oh my gosh, this is an actual band, I love it. So I don't know.
They're doing that big tour with, well, if it's still on, with Fallout Boy and coming up.
Oh yeah, that's
Apparently, they're still continuing their Asia leg this month.
That
Really?
seems appropriate right now.
I think so.
Now wait a minute. Who's Green Day?
The other punk band from the 90s.
I'm
yeah,
joking.
not Blink 182, but
The not Blink 182.
I feel like you
Actually,
could
I'm more familiar with Green Day than I am Blink 182. In fact, they were both
dude,
big, I guess, when I was in high
Didn't
school.
you know? Speaking of that generation, didn't the frontman
Someone's burrito's done.
of like Fountains of Wayne pass away the other day?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Bass player.
he was Adam Schlesinger.
Yeah, that's it.
And my favorite, honestly, you know, it's crazy because a lot of people like he found Fountains of Wayne, but he wrote one of my favorite songs, and that's That Thing You Do. And
Yes,
that
yes, I heard that
was-
in the grocery store the other day.
that was because that movie was, I don't know, I absolutely love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
that was the thing that hit with me whenever I found out he passed away. I was like, he did so much outside of Fountains of Wayne, but he wrote like one of the catchiest, coolest songs ever. Anyone who hears that song will always remember that song. It's that catchy. Yeah, and every person who didn't know how to play drums could sit there and hit the kick in your
Yep.
snare and floor tom, no problem.
All right, fellas, I gotta take off.
Oh, Leon, it was
Yep,
good
it was
seeing you,
fun.
buddy.
Stopping
Take it
and
easy,
saying hi.
man.
Yeah. See you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get out of this thing. Now I'm the old guy.
There's a little, yeah, there's a little red leave meeting.
So we just sit here and wait for him to leave.
Awkward.
Don't be awkward, guys. Don't be awkward. Shh. Okay, we can talk about Leon. He's gone now. No, all right. So like, but it's really crazy because a lot of these bands that are becoming more relevant are not becoming. They're getting their second wave of relevancy. That's kind of like MCR. My Chemical Romance had a upkick, especially after the Umbrella Academy, because what's the lead singer from My Chemical Romance? Is anyone?
Emo McBangson? I don't know.
Yeah, that's him. So because he wrote that, and like there's kind of that upkick, and they've teased and they said that they're going to tour again and everything. But it's really funny because there's a lot of these bands that are doing these. They have these like second waves of fame, and it's funny because like I was in school or I was old enough to know who they were when they came out their first time, and I don't get into them into their second time. Does anyone else have a band that they did not get into until like later or after the band disbanded?
I don't know if this is the best example, but it took me a while to get into Weezer. I didn't get into Weezer till like 2015.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty late in their career.
That's like when I stopped getting into Weezer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those. I'm trying to think. There's been a few bands. Really, it's funny because like my kids are into Fall Out Boy, and that's hilarious because I saw Fall Out Boy when I was in high school. I wasn't a huge fan, but I mean, they're like listening to all this new stuff, and I'm like, well, what about like Dance Dance and you know, I'm Like a Lawyer, stuff like that, and they're just like, what? I'm like,
What?
From Under the Cork Tree? Like, what the heck? And they're just like, no, this song and this song. That's like Panic at the Disco.
I was gonna bring them up. Yeah, I went to a Weezer concert in 2015. It's pretty much as soon as I got into them, and it was them and Panic at the Disco, and the whole I saw them out in Tinley at Hollywood Casino, and it was like everyone was in attendance was either like a parent, 16.
Yeah.
You know, like the dads were singing along to the old songs, and the kids were singing along to the new ones. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I
because
kind of wonder. So I wonder how much us switching to streaming services now is kind of killing new bands up and coming. That we no longer have the radio mechanism to kind of force new music on us. And like for me, I really don't find new music anymore. If anything, I just find new albums from the bands I already listened to.
Mhm.
And so like when I first got streaming, I was like, great, every album ever. And you know, then I was like, cool, I'll listen to all of Led Zeppelin, and that I'll listen to all of the, you know, I did that stage, but really like I'm not finding new and up and coming stuff anymore.
Well,
where,
I
like
think
underground radio was sort of that thing where it was like, this is the new hot stuff that will be cool in like 3 months.
Yeah,
Well, I think what it
Spotify's
is-
gotten really good at adding a Discover Weekly playlist that
Amazon
throws in
as
new
well.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to all the stuff. that
Diaz,
you
are you an
listen to.
Amazon Music guy as well?
I am Amazon Music.
We are the two in the universe. I knew.
There's very
Ew.
few. The reason why I do Amazon Music is because I lump it in with my Prime, and
Same here.
It's kind. I mean, it's not expensive. I could do Apple Music, but I don't know. I just kind of like the usability of that, and I have Alexa all throughout the house,
Same here.
so it's really easy for me just to be like, you know, Alexa, play me some Panic at the Disco or whatever.
Did you ever get on the Echo Auto train? Like
No.
when it came out, the little, it's the tiny little one that like
Mm-mm.
plugs in. So I got one. And you have to have your phone because it's not like 4G enabled. But yeah, it's cool. So like my truck's a 2012 and it has an aux in, but it doesn't have, you know, Bluetooth or anything.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's pretty cool that, you know, just sit in the truck and be like, Alexa, play, you know, whatever, and it'll straight up do it.
Well, what I usually do is I'll just get my phone, and if I have aux in, I just open up my Amazon Music, and I can just be like,
Yep. Works
the
the same way.
response to Alexa there.
Yep. Works the same way.
Everyone else is just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
just
have
that they don't
Apple,
care.
CarPlay.
Yeah.
I have an old F1, not an old, but a 2009 F-150.
That's
And
my truck's an
That's
F-150
old at
too.
this point.
It's got an aux in, no Bluetooth or nothing.
I think the 2009 and 2012 are the same generation. I think.
I actually don't even have aux-in on because I've got a 2006 Escape,
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't have aux-in on that. And so I'm really weird because when I'm in the vehicle, I typically don't even listen to music. I have silence because I have 3 boys and a wife, and if
Oh,
I'm in the
yeah.
vehicle alone, I enjoy silence.
Hang on. He goes by his middle name, so it's Jonathan Michael Diaz. He listens to silence in the while he's driving the car, and he already owns a gun. So, just saying, there's 3 warning signs right now.
What number should we call?
Wait, how is Jonathan Michael Diaz a warning? I don't
All
understand.
serial killers use their middle names for some reason.
I could never.
Dang.
I could never get away with it because it would be like Curtis, then be like, oh, how nice. You know,
Yeah,
Are
there's
you-
John,
are you-
what, John-
are
John
you here
Wayne
for
Gacy?
my? Are you here for my Meals on Wheels delivery? You know,
Oh my god,
Jonathan Curtis.
Oh,
Let me go back to the streaming services. To some extent, Scott, I've actually found more bands through Spotify and Apple Music before and I go looking for things. I'm signed up to a few, like, hey, these are some upcoming artists. 99.9% of them I'll never listen to again, but some of them I've found. What was they've changed their name, but there was you could get free music or you could donate to it. And I found a couple bands that way. Shoot, I can't remember who.
Bandcamp. Maybe.
No, it was the Christian music artist that used to be in Caveman's Call. He started this
Derek
website.
Webb.
Ooh, we're go to old school.
Yeah, he had a
website.
website. I can't remember the name of it now, and I didn't even know
Wait.
he was
hold on.
running that
Was it
for a
a
long time.
web site?
Someone
That-
has
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but anyway,
I
let
have
me ask y'all this.
I have an inkling of what you're talking about, but I can't place it. Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what it was. I can't remember it now, but it was basically, hey, these artists you can download for free, or you can donate $1 or $5 or whatever. And I found a few artists that way that still
Oh,
like
hold
to
on,
listen
hold
to.
on. What was
But
the
let me,
Reverb Nation? Was that it?
that might be it. That might.
I
be
remember back in the day when you first had a band, you had to have a Reverb Nation site.
It may not be that. I can't remember.
He's like, nope, that sounds too mainstream.
I don't know. Remember posting your recordings on MySpace and they'd automatically play when you got yeah, dude.
Listen, you guys are all in my top 6 right now. Our top 5. You guys have made it.
Does anybody use Apple Music here?
I do.
Okay. I tried Apple Music. I got the 3-month trial, but it started deleting my actual library off of my phone, so I quit using it.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that still a problem?
I don't keep anything local on my phone really, other than like that one playlist that starts every time I start my car. So,
Okay. I was just
Oh,
curious.
you don't want to hear the U2 album?
That could be related to
I've
the
been-
setting that you've got on your phone. It might just
So like the
No, it was a thing. It was a thing.
Yep.
I looked it up. Other people were having issues with it, and then this is like been several years ago when it first came out.
but Songs of Innocence is still stuck on your phone, isn't it?
Yes.
As
You know,
it should be.
I actually don't mind that album, but
It was fine.
On
I liked the Johnny Ramone song, or is that what it was?
oh man,
Yes.
it's been a while since I've listened to it. The
It's been a while.
Thanks, Phil.
So I think like the most recent tracks I purchased from iTunes, and this isn't Apple Music streaming or anything, but the tracks that I purchased were for our wedding like 10 years ago, and it was an instrumental guitar version of like Praise to the Lord the Almighty, and it might have been Hazy Joy Man's Desiring or something. And when I had Bluetooth, I had a Mitsubishi Lancer before I went back to the truck life. And every time I'd get in and turn it on, bum bum ba dum bum ba da 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 da. I mean, it was cool, like, oh, my wedding, and then like a year later, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
every time I start my car, it's Either Way by Wilco, which is a weird way to start every trip. Is maybe the sun will shine today, and like so, like in some ways, like if I'm having a bad day, I turn on my car. I'm like, nah, I hate this song. And other days I'm like,
So,
yeah, things
Can
be
you
okay.
pick what songs that? Oh, you can change. Could you change like the title to make it your first song?
It's
like
just
put,
like
like
a
a-
random playlist. It's either
Okay,
that
but-
or it plays through every song alphabetically. It's one or the two, and I have
I
no
think-
idea what setting this is.
Mine is so I run Spotify on my phone, and every once in a while, if there's a Bluetooth connection or something, and it tells my phone to play, it'll prioritize iTunes.
Yeah,
And
mine does that too.
it starts at the A's. So after the love is gone by Earth, Wind and Fire starts.
Oh, that's a good. I would change mine to be like a DMX song, like X gonna give it to you, something like that. That way, every time you get in your car, you're like, dun, 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 you're like ready to hit the day. I feel like what, I'm gonna make that my alarm. I want to wake up to DMX getting me hyped.
So back
Old and like
what am I
back
doing with my
in
life?
back in college, my buddy had like one of the first like MP3 phones. It was like the Sony Walkman flip phone. It was orange and had the buttons on it and whatnot. And you could set MP3s as your like your alarms or whatever. And this was the first thing. And so he chose Metallica's cover of "Whiskey in the Jar."
Whiskey in the jar, bro.
Yeah. And I heard that song every morning, and he never woke up, by the way, every morning for like an hour straight for 3 years.
What's a jarra?
I don't know.
Whiskey in a jarra. I'm sorry.
He's just
now
growling.
I've got to figure out how to set my alarm tone to be DMX now. That's my goal in life.
To completely change the subject back to what I was talking about, I found that website. It was called Noise Trade, and they've updated they changed their name to Paste Magazine. So
Both terrible names.
That's a very weird name.
Noise Trade I liked. I don't mind that
Yeah.
name so much.
Noise
Paste
by
Magazine.
definition is unwanted sound. So
Is this a glue magazine?
Yeah, yeah, Paste Magazine.
don't need it.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen that meme of it's like two guys sitting at a bar and one guy's like, "Hey, if we boiled down horses, we could use it to stick things to other things." And the other guy's like, "Dude, are things okay at home?" That was like the invention of glue.
I've seen that
Like,
meme.
I still want to be like the first guy that looked at like a cow's teat and was like, I'm gonna drink that.
I think the same thing.
that's like, or like, hey, that round thing just came out of that chicken's butt.
Or
I'm
yeah, we'll
Like,
all be dipped. I got myself some breakfast.
we're gonna eat all this pig. What about the feet? Yeah, we'll eat those too.
Let's put. You got any leftover pickle juice? Let's throw it in there. Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, no, not the garlicky one. Let's make it a little spicy.
Yeah.
I throw oysters in with the same thing. It's like, who in the world decided to eat an oyster to begin with?
Who's the guy who decided to eat a bull's testicles and call it a mountain oyster?
Dwight Schrute,
Yeah, there you go.
his descendants.
You know what? I'm really surprised from the Office Beats didn't hit like have mainstream stride there for a minute.
Office Beats?
The-
White Shroot.
Yeah,
Beats.
Dread Shoots Beat Farm. Fun fact:
Oh.
my son Malachi, he'll throw a fit if we try to feed him a vegetable, but you give him a pickled beet, he will eat the crap out of that jar.
You can
Like,
use foul
of all
words if you
things.
want, John. I heard that coming out. You're
Yeah.
like, are you-
Yeah, we're not sponsored by Westminster this week.
Yeah.
Or this one.
this isn't a sponsored episode.
Wait, hey, guys. We can. We just need to renegotiate.
Yeah, I'm not the one to talk to on that.
Okay. No, I'm that way with a few foods where like I can't stand the regular version, but the minute you pickle it, I love it.
Mm.
Like I don't like cucumbers at all. They actually kind of make me gag. I don't know why.
What's wrong with you?
Well, they taste like a candle.
You have to chew it, Scott. You can't just put it all in. Like,
Wait, what?
Just because they're like 69 cents at Kroger doesn't mean.
Nice.
It's,
You just
it's
relax
not a
the
pill.
throat and just lodge it right in, right?
Not a pill that you
goodness
just
gracious.
eat whole.
it's,
No, I love pickles. Absolutely love them, but I can't
Scott's in the
stand regular
supermarket over by the produce section looking at the cucumber. I can't quit you.
Scott, why do you always buy the small cucumbers? Because I can't fit it all in my mouth. I have a gag reflex. I'm sorry.
I'm a gherkin man, fellas.
All right, let's reel this back in before we keep going. I would like to be able to share this with some people.
Yeah, I'm not sharing this with anybody.
Turn into our summer name.
He's like, don't
episode.
even tag me if you post this, please.
Yeah, don't even tag me.
We'll just have to like.
I know,
put a
you know, the
mask
only
over you.
person I'll tell is Clifton, and only because I've gotten in more words than he did.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
We didn't mute him. He muted himself and just
Yeah, he
did
just
not
kept,
talk.
he kept muting himself and wouldn't, and we're just like, and then we'd be like, "Hi, Clifton," and you just hear like 5 seconds, and be like, "Oh yeah," and then you come in. It felt like it was like he was on dial-up.
Well, I mean, we are in Mississippi. He probably was on dial-up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, good old Mississippi. It's better than Georgia. That's all I'm saying. Sorry,
So-
I have a vendetta against the state of Georgia.
What they do to you? Show me on the doll.
Everything bad happens to me in Georgia. I mean, granted, like some of the stuff I deserve, like I got a speeding ticket and like all this, but then our van broke down in Georgia. I'm trying to think, like just crazy stuff
sounds
always
like a
happens to
country
me
song.
in Georgia.
It really
My
does.
van broke down in Georgia, got me a ticket. Now I'm stuck here because coronavirus is kicking our butt. I don't know. why I
That's
did
top 40 material right there, man.
that. Let me make some phone calls really quick. Let me get a hold of Spence Peppered and be like, listen, guys, listen, we're doing a country song.
Bro shaved his beard. He looks 3 years old now.
Wait, who?
Spence.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Well, he went from like looking like young and hip to like I was worried about him. You okay, buddy? Did he shave his beard because of the virus, or did he just shave it?
I don't know. I mean, that was the guidance that CDC, came out with. But
I just
don't-
started
That's
a
weird. I
job.
started growing a beard.
Yeah.
This is the most I've ever grown on my face in my life, and I'm getting a little uncomfortable with it.
So real talk. Most days between showers since the self isolation thing started.
Every day.
Every day. Good on you.
I can't wake up.
Oh,
I haven't.
I'm
haven't
still
been able to
working,
get there.
so
Yeah. Good point. New job at a fuel supplier of some sort.
yeah. So I work for a convenience store chain in East Tennessee called Weigel's. So it's kind of like if you've been in the Northeast in the Philly, Pennsylvania area, kind of like a Wawa, or if you've been in Florida, they've got them down there. They're really nice. We have about like 63 stores, and this week I've been working. We just opened up a brand new store, and that sucks. I worked like I'm working 7 days this week, and it's just been crazy.
Hmm.
But yeah, opening up a new store is a lot tougher than I realized it would be. So, but I've only been with them for a little over a month now.
Sure.
So I'm still in training, and then they're going to give me a store to run and all that fun jazz.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's a good company to work for, it seems, as of right now. But you know how that could always turn.
Oh yeah. Every company has that piece where, I mean, I work for, well, you've probably heard of Zillow Group. So Zillow.com,
Mhm.
Trulia, all that stuff. It's a fantastic company to work for. But like a good chunk of my compensation is stock. And not necessarily options. It's like just market ready stock that vests, every so often. Well, there's the bits and pieces where, they'll do an earnings call and stock will dump, and then, there goes, could be anywhere from, 10 to 25% of my quarterly, income because of a company decision. So every company has its ups and downs. So I hope it's a good fit for you, man.
No, it's been great. It's a lot better than the food industry. Like I've only dealt with one upset customer in the entire month I've been there. While at like Burger King or Pizza Hut, usually you're dealing with an upset customer within like your first hour of being there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a bit more of a sense of entitlement when it comes to like restaurants and like fast serve restaurants and stuff. There's like, it's, I need it now. Why do I have to wait so long in the drive through? My drink's wrong. They're just like, I want it, and there's that sense of entitlement that just gets them really.
Can we unmute Mark? Mark, unmute yourself. You're muted.
I know.
Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. I did not hit her. I did not.
How's it going?
Hey, how do you feel about cucumbers?
Should you chew them? Or should you just go all in? Just go for it.
I like them thinly sliced in the salad or on a sandwich.
You're still wrong.
I just found a Reliant K album.
Oh, I know. Me too. They're putting I just saw yesterday they're uploading like a live album.
This is 7 years ago.
Wow.
Sorry, sometimes I get bored and I just look through random things.
Okay, honest question for the group. Quick survey here. Has anyone actually watched any of the house concerts that everyone's been putting out?
Yeah, I've watched some of them. So this whole coronavirus thing, my brother's a prime example of the people who are really affected by that in the live performer. He's lost $30,000 in gigs so far.
Ooh, yikes.
And that was in the 3-month span. So, I mean, because my brother does a lot of corporate gigs, which is where the good money's at. But that's his life. He's a professional musician. And I mean, he plays out 5-6 nights a week, or he does about 7 gigs a week. He usually doubles on Fridays and Saturdays. He'll do a lunch gig and a dinner gig. And he does solo stuff. He does full band, all that, corporate gigs. And I mean, everything is pretty much canceled on him right now. So
I got a bunch of friends who they have like touring jobs and they're all out of work for the foreseeable future, including my roommate. So that sucks. But he got a temporary thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it's really cool what they've done. I actually just got into a huge argument with someone today about the unemployment benefits, what they've been able to do to help people. Because in some areas it's going to help a lot more than others, depending on the cost of living and everything like that. But they've increased benefits, the weekly benefits, by $600. But I've done some research in this because a lot of people just want to argue about it and they don't look. Like Florida, the maximum weekly benefits you can get is about $250. So if you're able to,
wow.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing is, and most of the time your unemployment, people don't realize if you haven't gone through unemployment, the benefits you get is usually only about 40 to 50% of your income that you are bringing in.
Yeah, like I have a supplemental policy with my insurance that like now this is disability, but like your disability only gives you like 60% of what you made when you get injured, and so I have a supplemental policy for like the other 40%.
Aflac.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the crazy thing that's going on. So luckily they've 1099 employees and self-employed LLCs, stuff like that, they weren't able to get unemployment benefits. And a lot of people are going to learn the hard way this time that if you're messing around on your taxes, it's not going to benefit you because it's going by your previous year's income. And that's a tough thing as well. But cost of living is a big thing. In a lot of the southern states, $600 a week extra is a lot of money. California, not so much. Probably Chicago area, Scott, that's probably not as much as it is for us in the grand scheme of things.
I think if you're in a position where you are living paycheck to paycheck, hopefully your rent is around $1,000 or less a month.
Yep.
And you're living responsibly. So $600 a week is a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that is a big deal. And I mean, it's just kind of crazy. A lot of people have been doing the arguing because people who are still working like myself, or some of these people are getting mad that these people get unemployment benefits. And it's like, they don't want to be unemployed. A lot of people.
I hate to be. I find myself weird where I often make these conservative arguments these days. And I think it's just because of where I live that I'm not that liberal.
Because
But-
you're a foolish white male.
Yeah, I'm a business owner, and I don't know. No, I have seen hiring issues that, frankly, some people would rather stay on unemployment than go grab another one of these hourly jobs, and so these jobs that don't pay enough to be incentivized are definitely having problems hiring. But
I think that this is also going to really shake up the way we pay people too, because like a lot of these companies that are going to need people during this time that are essential companies are going to have to step it up to get people in the door.
yeah, or I mean, I think this should be the wake up sign that I think a lot of our generation's grandparents did, where they had the Great Depression, and you saw that changed their lives forever. And there was a level of responsibility that they had with themselves, where they said, "Look, I'm stashing away, and I'm staying liquid for like 6 months. I'm building my house in such a way that I can always rent out an extra space." All those kind of like we have taken for granted how secure we've been for the 30 some years of our lives, that this crap doesn't really happen. I guess this is my second economic crash of my professional lifespan, but how many people are living paycheck to paycheck voluntarily because they spend everything, or like they don't have savings. Hopefully this is a bit of a wake-up call that once things settle, things get back going, people are like, look, I need to keep 2-3 months put away in case another one of these things happens.
Yeah, that's very true. I think that there's going to be, or we could just realize that we need to move to socialism and call it a day.
We haven't?
I'm kidding. I was kidding. Everyone just calm down before I saw someone's eye twitch. John's going to I'm getting Cody in here right now.
Yeah, whatever.
Free money.
Yeah, this episode's not sponsored by Westminster, so we don't have to say taxation is theft.
I feel
something going around the other day. It was like if capitalism is so great, how come it has to keep getting bailed out by socialism every 8 years?
No, my favorite one is still the meme going around of what is the Spider-Man, the two Spider-Mans, and it's like, if he's not your president, don't take the Trump check. And he's like, if you're not for socialism, don't take the Trump check. It's like, there you go.
My favorite is the picture of the Social Security card. It says, "Have one of these." Well, congrats, you're a card-carrying socialist.
Let me check.
Nice.
On the meme topic, one of my co-worship leader over at the church shared one with me yesterday or a couple days ago. It was a picture of it was a dual frame one, and the top frame was a picture of the Titanic going down, and it said the whole world right now. And the bottom frame were like the orchestra on the Titanic who played as the ship went down, and it said worship leaders everywhere was the caption for the bottom one.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're gonna transfer off of politics because it's never good. So memes, though, we talked about it last week on our episode. I feel like we should continue with more people. Tiger King, come on, it's flipping amazing.
I just realized that was like a real thing. Like
Those are real people. Well, Scott sent me a documentary on YouTube that normalizes them kind of, but still,
it's crazy. But like at the same time, it like tries to paint him as the hero, and like, yeah, it was a weird.
He is the hero. Carol Baskin is the evil person in this.
There is no likable character in that whole series.
I don't know. Scarface was pretty down to earth.
No. Wait. No.
Okay.
It was the guy who managed the manager.
The John with no legs.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Okay.
The guy carrying 2 gas cans with a cigarette in his mouth, in a room full of gas cans.
My least favorite character on that whole show has got to be Carol's new husband.
Oh my gosh, he's so awkward.
He's murdered somebody.
The what?
He's just trying not to get murdered.
There is something off about him and her. It's a sweet fake. I can't even put it into words, but they're just.
But let's be honest, you've wanted to start every call since this has happened with, hey, all
Hello,
you cool
cats and
cats and
kittens.
kittens.
Cool cats and kittens. Just every
I have
Zoom.
not.
I don't know.
I have not.
I personally take solace in the fact that I can tell you more facts about Daniel Tiger, Princess Sophia, and Doc McStuffins than I can about Tiger King. Like I take great comfort in that at this moment.
Oh my god.
Well, I can tell you about Blaze and Paw Patrol all day long, so I'm with you.
Always on the double.
My kids watch because they're older. Oh my gosh. There's a really annoying show. The theme song is super annoying. And
Scott,
it's a
Mark,
cartoon.
what are kids?
Yeah. No one has kids. I'm trying to think. Adventure Time.
I have
No.
nephews, so I'm aware of all these things.
It's
Especially
not
around Christmas.
Adventure Time's annoying, but there's another one. I can't remember. There's like a bunny rabbit as the dad. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find it.
Lemon.
Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh no,
That Amazing World of Gumball and Adventure Time consume my life, and it makes me sad. Luckily, they got into Bob's Burgers for a while. That was great.
One set of nephews is like 100% Beyblades right now.
Those are still a thing?
Yep.
Wow.
Is there a new version, or are they watching the classic?
Well, that's like Pokemon is having like a big
No idea.
boom again.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Wait a minute. What did Scott say? What show is it?
Beyblades?
Never heard of it.
It's spinning tops that come in like 3 or 4 pieces and they'll blow up.
I say, is this literally a show based on the tops?
Yes.
Yes.
So cool.
Well, I mean, that's like Pokemon was based on the cards.
Yep.
That at least makes sense.
And
There's
then
characters.
The video game.
then-
Yeah.
Digimon, who remembers that one?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like
You mean the
knockoff
off-brand
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Wait,
Yeah,
is
it was-
Digimon on a streaming service? Because I would probably start watching that
Can
again.
buy that? That
No,
might
Who
be.
was the orange little dinosaur? That's the one I liked.
I don't know. I'm getting that confused with Dinosaur Train at this point.
What was the old show? Dinosaurs? Like the one where the
Yeah.
not the mama.
Not the mama. Yeah, my
Not
wife.
the mama. Not the mama.
Yeah, my wife loves that show. I don't get it.
You're like, I just
Digimon is supposedly on Hulu and Amazon.
I can't say much. I'm
Well,
on my
I'll
like
see you guys in
15th
6
time.
hours.
I'm on my 5th time watching The West Wing. So
Oh, dude, there's nothing
Or
wrong with
15th.
that.
Started.
15th.
Yeah, I
Bartlett for
restarted it off
America.
this week.
Bartlett for America.
I know.
That's it.
You know, why don't we just honestly? I'm just down for Martin Sheen being president. Just like pretend to be Bartlett.
Dude, I said that 10 years ago.
No. Remember what he did with raising a kid. He
She got
raised Charlie
abducted?
Sheen. What do you think he's going to do to our country?
Oh. I was thinking Zoe Bartlett. I was like,
Yeah, Zoe
she-
Bartlett's great.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Hey, y'all.
She just killed an Invisible Man last time I saw
I
her.
just started watching it this week.
What, The West Wing? You just started watching it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude! You're gonna have to text me because that's. I remember.
Yes, you might finally be able to start your Wings and Wings podcast.
Oh, dude.
Now,
Dude, I would be so in.
You
Okay, listen.
eat through the Buffalo Wild Wings menu sauces, and so it's a new sauce every week, and then you talk about an episode of The West Wing.
Yeah, we talk about an episode every week. Wings and Wings.
spicy garlic.
As a
Spicy
Caribbean
garlic's
jerk,
pretty
guys.
good.
Caribbean jerk.
You know what?
Caribbean
Mango
jerk.
habanero.
Whoa, hold up. This is a throwback. The Captain Morgan sauce. Anyone with me? Anyone remember this?
No.
This was a long, like 15 years ago. They had a Captain
Uh,
Morgan sauce, and it was.
I was probably Assemblies
so
of
good.
God at the time, so I wasn't allowed to have it.
Yeah,
They were
so
they were
good.
not down with the drink.
Even though it
I
was
don't-
just flavored.
Yeah, probably. I don't even
Yeah.
think I was allowed to
I
have
mean,
rum cake.
They had those Jack Daniel sauces at TGI Fridays too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those were good. I think Ian had to drop out. I saw him salute.
I think it's just his video. He's just
Oh,
in
okay.
pants.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm actually gonna have
Mango
to run as
habanero
well.
is my jam.
Mango habanero is like that's one of those ones that like you eat it and then like 30 seconds later you're like, oh god, here it comes. Because it's sweet at first, but oh my gosh.
I've made a big mistake.
Oh, see, I'm weird about Buffalo Wild Wings because I always do my sauce on the side. Because for some reason, just the way the base of their sauce is too thick for me. I don't. I prefer like kind of a thinner sauce, like a buttercut sauce, and I don't think theirs is buttercut. And
Really well, and sometimes they don't. So, like,
yeah, I don't trust them to sauce my wings anymore.
So I have a Buffalo Wild Wings like within walking distance of here, but like I never go because we have so many bars with like amazing wings
Mhm.
that like I don't think to go to a chain.
See,
To get
Buffalo
wings
Wild
anymore.
Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings lost me when they got rid of the BOGO on the traditional wings,
Mm.
because they used to do BOGO traditional wings on Tuesdays, and I'd always pick them up after work or whatever I was doing that day, and they lost me because they went to boneless only.
Yep.
So
Which
Yeah,
are
they're
just
cheaper.
chicken nuggets.
Well, that's the thing. Are they chicken nuggets or are they miniaturized tenders? That's the
oh,
real
you know
thing.
what?
Ooh.
That's a legit good way to look at it. Miniaturized tenders.
Because like the way I always think of nuggets, and you know, there obviously this is super meta about like there's a thread going on, but like chicken nuggets are like nugget shaped chicken patties or fritters. You know, it's compressed and shaped and
It's
Mhm.
electronically separated chicken that's smashed back together.
It could
Yeah.
be analog, but you know.
but is it better? At McDonald's, that's modeling. And there's nothing wrong with a McNugget. That's chicken modeling is what that is, and that's okay.
do you guys remember the McDonald's mozzarella sticks that were like $1 for 4?
Yes.
I mean,
they were like horribly great.
BK has those things going on now, don't they? Or no, they have the mac and cheese
Bur-
sticks.
No, Burger King does have the Mott sticks. They've got those currently.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I haven't eaten at a Burger King in like a decade. So
They've got like an 8-piece, or they've got like, I can't remember, a 4-piece and an 8-piece.
Because that's what everyone needs.
Listen, when I left Burger King, we just got done selling tacos. Like, who the
Yeah.
heck goes to a place called Burger King and wants tacos?
Burger King is
And
one
then
of those
people-
places that like it doesn't have like it has an identity that like it was like 8 years ago. It was the have it your way identity, you know, and now it's just like whatever.
well, it used to be you'd go to McDonald's.
we
and
found these
they were
on
pre-made
at
sandwiches.
Costco. Let's fry them up.
Well, it used to be McDonald's was like, this is what you get. Deal
Yeah.
with it.
Yep.
And when they started letting you customize your order, the whole have it your way thing kind of started
Yep.
falling
Good
apart.
point. Good point.
Dude, McDonald's drive-thru is just so dang slow now.
Well,
And-
a lot of the places here do the 2 lanes at the same time,
Yep.
yeah.
and that's sped it up a lot. But
No, I time myself when I go to drive-thrus. It took me like 10 minutes to go through McDonald's drive-thru.
Hmm.
From the time I
Just go to
ordered.
Chick-fil-A.
Here's a question for you. He said that McDonald's nuggets are like the modeling of chicken. So what is the Kemper profiling of chicken nuggets? What is that?
Chick-fil-A nuggets.
those are whole meat.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Technically,
yeah.
technically Chick-fil-A nuggets are not
But-
nuggets.
but they're their own thing. You know, they got that pickle kind of sour sweet thing going on, the sweet breading. I think that's it, because the thing is that, you know, as fun as analog can be, a Kemper can really just sound pretty good without anything. It's just like a Chick-fil-A nugget. Like Chick-fil-A sauce is
Right.
like, but you don't need it.
Mhm.
You
Oh
know,
no,
you don't-
Polynesian sauce for the win.
See, I go back and forth. I don't know. Polynesian sauce is good on nuggets, but like Chick-fil-A sauce, like dipping a sandwich or your waffle fries in that, that's
Yeah.
where I go.
See, I don't do the waffle fries anymore. I got to go to mac and cheese because they always, everything, all the mac and cheese always has that baked crispy top, and it's amazing.
I didn't even know they had mac and cheese.
Are
There's
you?
a
Where
whole
have you
thing.
been, dude?
Yeah, where
I
have you been
barely
the
go-
last year?
Guys, Chick-fil-A is such a pain in the butt to get to around here. It's only when I'm in the suburbs do I go to one.
Oh yeah, imagine if Jesus was like, "Oh, it's such a pain in the butt to go die on the cross for your sins." I mean, come on.
Every man who sets his hand to the plow and looks back is not fit for service in the kingdom of God.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I was on a thread the other day, and someone, I believe they posted, I don't know if it was that scripture. Yeah, I think it was that scripture about talking about someone else, and it was like random. Like we were discussing a builder that's had issues with communication, stuff like that, and delivering product on time. And they
You can
commented.
name him. It's fine. He doesn't sponsor our show.
Okay. So it was This One's Mine pedals. And I went on there, and because I personally did have a bad experience, it took 7 months to get a rehouse with it was a Pitchfork rehouse with a preset mod. It took 7
What
months.
company was it?
This One's Mine. It's
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Google it.
they were big.
They make the Pearl.
Yeah, which used to be a big drive, and it's kind of died off. But yeah, it was someone posted that, so I posted a scripture from Song of Solomon's. I think it was 7:7. If you don't know that one, that's grabbing the cluster. I posted that randomly. It got deleted by an admin for troll posts. I was like, well, he was posting random scripture that had nothing to do with this. I'd post random scripture too. Come on. But yeah, that's been interesting as well. Oh, it fixed itself. So I was sorry. I was about to reset my watch because my messages amount was always jacked up. I never thought I'd have to reset a watch like that.
Yeah. I've got to reboot my watch. Hold up.
Yeah, I do love the Apple Watch because you can talk on the phone on it, and I feel like I'm like in the Get Smart stuff, like Mission Impossible.
Get Smart would be the shoe, the Apple shoe.
Oh, that's right. We need an Apple shoe.
The iClog.
No, the iCroc.
Yeah. I've got mine sitting in the drawer. It holds a charge for about a day and a half. I wear it when I travel. I don't know.
I only
Bringing it back to gear, so my pedal board takes a solid 20-30 seconds to boot up now.
What are you using?
I got an HX Stomp last month.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
My Morning Star takes a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I
And the
miss my
Kemper takes a
Morningstar.
minute.
Back on to join the talk, dude. I had that HX Stomp for a few months, and dude, that boot time is just inexcusable.
I got traded one, so yeah, you could probably figure it out. I mercy bought this amp from a guy who was having some financial issues, and this is a guy who often switches gear often. And so I mercy bought this amp, and I was like, yeah, I'll hold on to it and play it. And it was like $700 or something. I think I paid a bit less, but at the end he traded me like some cash and like an HX Stomp to get it back. I was like, sure. And I plugged it in. It was like, I sold it for truck parts. Like whatever.
Is it that bad?
Oh, it's not bad. I mean, like I even grabbed some of the presets from worship tutorials and whatnot, just because I knew that they had like a free one, and I didn't want to like work. Because the whole reason, like I used to be a Line 6 freak. Like I had the Vedas and the Flex Tones and all the pods, and
I've got a Line 6 back here somewhere.
I had all of it. I never had a Spider though, so I still have some integrity. But
Hey, listen, the Spider Clean channel was a great pedal platform. That's all I'm saying.
now that's true. All the Line 6 cleans were really, really good. And the whole reason I got out of it was because like all the menus and plugging into your computer, and like I have to like worry about firmware and patching and all that crap is like part of my regular day job. Like I don't want that to creep into my hobby. But it sounded fantastic. I mean, it wasn't like terrible. There wasn't anything bad about it. I just didn't want to have another thing to tinker with. Like I just want to turn a knob. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the worship tutorials ones are interesting because they also like grab other people's stuff and kind of assemble it for you. So like their Alnico Blue thing, I think, is based on
Tone Junkie.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Our new
John, what did you say you had? What I didn't catch what you bought.
Before like that I traded back for the HX Stomp.
Yeah.
It was a Delisle nickel box. So point to point hand wired. Yeah, he's in Indiana or Michigan or something. Fantastic amplifiers. I mean, tube driven reverb, and I mean the whole thing, tube rectified. I didn't really care. Like I said, it was a Mercy purchase, and it kind of just sat on my shelf. Traded back to get it with a HX Stomp and some other stuff, and I was like, this is definitely more sellable and less intrinsic value than that amp, Tim. So I was like, I'll pick it up, and if I don't want to use it, I'll part ways. I kind of wish I would have kept it for the reverbs, but I don't know.
The particle verb is great.
Yeah, that was the one that I always still miss from my Line 6 days. I had one. I mean, I had an M5 on my board too, and an M11 at one point, and all that, and that had a particle verb. That was really nice. My main reverb. I mean, of course, I use the Westminster Effects Chalcedon dual hall reverb thing, but
earn that paycheck, John.
Yeah, my paycheck. What?
I mentioned it, Cody.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, buddy? No. So when I was at NAMM, Winter NAMM this past January, at our Stomp Box booth, I was working the booth with Cody. And on the other side, because it's the one that's sponsored by Delicious Audio, so it's a bunch of the smaller builders like Maris and Epigaze and Frost Giant and all them. On the other side, there were these guys from France called Anasounds, and I watch Ryan Burke's channel all the time, and I guess he did a video on this.
They're reverbs, right?
Yeah, and I never saw it, and so when I was walking around the booth, and I saw these reverb spring tanks with like laser etched wood tops, I was like, what is going on here? And sure enough, it's a pedal that drives a real spring reverb tank that sits outboard. And holy crap, like it's awesome. And it doesn't, I mean, sound whatever. I'm not gonna argue, digital, analog, whatever, because I don't care, but there's something so real about it. Not even sounding. It's like I can look down, I can kick it and hear the and it's just such a cool concept to have spring reverb on a pedal board.
That's kind of like sweet. I love my Spring Daddy for that.
I've been wanting to try the new Game Changer spring reverb thing that uses like an
yeah. That seems like it would be really fun, because Game Changer is one of those companies that makes not your traditional sounding pedals.
For sure.
That's like the Plasma. There's people who are like, get it, they're like, this isn't usable, and it's like, dude, you're just not, you need to expand your mind.
Neither is the Binford, but we all love that pedal.
I've used the Binford Live, not any of the crazy stuff, but I mean, see, it's those pedals that people don't understand. Those are the fun pedals that you can, number one, not everything that you do with an instrument has to be a song and fit in that box. Sometimes it's nice to be fun. It's nice to have fun and just make noise. You know what I mean? Make a musical noise. It doesn't always have to be like a verse, chorus, bridge, and all that.
Sure.
So I think some people kind of forget about that.
Well, and I think we're starting to finally see like a surge of some of those kind of pedals these days. So you're seeing like the Blooper, the Mood from Chase Bliss.
Yep.
And you're just seeing like the knobs kind of stuff catch on. And then the Maris has, what was their multi-pitch shifter thing? I think Ian has one.
The Hydra.
Yeah. Where it just gets nuts. You're starting to see more of that stuff. And it expands what you're doing, because I think everyone already has, I hope by now everyone's figured out which version of the Tube Screamer they like.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah. Or the Blues Breaker, or the Klon.
I'm sorry, John, that reaction was great. You're just like, oh.
The Tube Screamer has a very specific use in my heart, but
I will use a Tube Screamer to cut through the mids.
I've never owned an Ibanez Tube Screamer. I will say.
I owned one time, and I bought it because it was pink. It was in the 60 Cycle Hum group. The person had painted it pink, and it actually looked really great. And he was like, you could sell it to a girl or something like that. So I bought it because I was a guy, and I was like, it's like, we're not going to follow gender roles here, buddy. And I got it, and I was like, yeah, I don't like the sound of a Tube Screamer. So,
Chris, how many Tube Screamers have you owned?
76.
At least 6.
All
I had
Ibanez
a,
tube screamers are variants.
I think most of them have been, all but one have been Ibanez. So I had a 83, I had a 90s, I had the Mini, I had a more recent, I think I had an 808 at one point. Currently using a Leets guitar. I don't know what he did to the circuit, but it sounds really good and then has an added boost in it.
Yeah.
I think that's been it. Oh no, the TS10.
Oh,
Mhm.
what's the turbo one or whatever?
No,
it
that's
is?
the
Or
10
is that the
series. So
no, the
it's
sound
Seven.
tank.
7. Mark said it's the 7 series.
no, that the sound tanks are the it's the TS5. No, the TS5 is the plastic ones from the early 2000s. I have that.
The FZ7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm placing it now. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
I think that might be the one
I'm placing the
don't
TS10
have.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything from the Tone Lock series yet.
I feel like if I got a tube screamer, I would want to either get the Bonsai to get a big variation or the Palisades. The
yeah,
problem with
that's
the
what I would either
Palisades,
do.
the Palisades is so much real estate though
Yeah.
for a pedal that
And-
I'm not.
Well, they market the Dunes as like the smaller version of it.
But it doesn't have as much.
No, and I personally couldn't stand it. Like it was harsh. I don't know. My first tube screamer like that I actually fell in love with was the Route 66 from Visual Sound, which is a
Yeah.
huge pedal. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a compressor on it, and then the Jekyll and Hyde, which has
I love
overdrive
the-
That was my
uh,
first drive pedal ever.
Yep.
Was the Jekyll
I
and
lo-
Hyde.
fantastic.
I love
V1.
the new, since they moved to True Sound and they redid the boxes. I really like. I think those are the V. Are they the V2 or the V3?
V3
they're
is
on
the
3.
actual like the traditional square or
Yeah.
rectangle
Yeah.
sort of thing.
I like the look that they moved to with that, because one of my biggest issues. So the Visual Sound pedals follows in the Dan Electro style of not really pedal board friendly in terms of space. That and like I had a Joe Bonamassa fuzz face from Dunlop, and it's one of the huge ones. I know Spence Peppard still uses his. It's an amazing fuzz. It's one of my favorite sounding fuzzes, but I would never be able to put it on my board because number one, you got to do the 9-volt out the back, and it just is so huge.
Well, with a fuzz, you kind of get away from that because traditionally it goes in front of your signal chain, so you could like just keep it in your bag and put it on the floor next to it. But yeah, I don't know. The Visual Sound, the thing that always kind of got in my way was like the V2 had like the flat thing, and it had this big lip that came up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was probably the
kind of like the reverse Boss. Like
yeah.
Boss is like, no, we're gonna recess the knob so you don't hit them, and Visual Sound's like, no, we're gonna put you a place to rest your foot. We gotcha. Yeah, that was always a weird thing with those. I think I like it when people come out with a non-traditional box, but it has to be pedal board friendly.
Yep.
It has to make sense. That was like what the Visual Sound had, the delay that sounded amazing, but it was just huge. It had those crappy switches, the little round switches with their logo on them.
Yep.
And they just, I don't know. It was just,
I had some issues with one of those switches once, and so I opened it up and actually reached out to, I think there's someone in GTP Dub that works for Visual Sound or True Tone or whatever. And he hooked me up, and it's so you've got the switch, which is just a floating button, and there's a piece of foam underneath of it that is what returns it.
okay.
And
So
then
the
there's
foam wears
like,
out.
and then there's a pressure plate that hits a momentary switch
Mhm.
on the board. I mean, these things are all SMD for the most part, and the foam wore out, and so it wouldn't switch anymore. I mean, switches do go out that was probably their solution. Oh, this won't go out because the Switch itself, isn't. But yeah,
I mean, that's the way the DL4 is set up, and you hear about people complaining about how the Switches fail on those all the time. I just had to repair the Kemper remote, similar thing. It's because that SMD switch, if gunk can actually get into them easier if it's liquidy, and then you can't get penetrating oil in there to really loosen it up. So or moreover, if it's a piece of foam, your penetrating oil is going to destroy the foam.
Can you say penetrating one more time for me, please?
What's that?
Nothing.
I'd like you to repeat the word penetrating.
Yeah. But that's the problem with a lot of those. And I mean, you've seen how many people have, like, that's something Nose Pedal does, is send us your DL4, we'll put more traditional switches back in it, and now it's roadworthy. So.
Yep.
Waka.
Design. I mean, Diaz was complaining the other day about a pedal I just bought or traded for. I got this the newer Dan Electro Billionaire series.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And he hates the switches in those.
Very much. They're absolutely horrible.
What? There was some, man, I can't remember what it was. It was, oh man. It was something when you'd hit on it, it wouldn't actually actuate the switch until you released the foot switch.
Oh, and I mean, a lot of anyone that does a digital one can do that. That's the programming choice.
Yeah. I just don't remember which one it was, but it was weird. Like, such a small change, it was weird to adjust to.
My favorite iteration of that still is the TC Electronics Spark Mini. Does this mode where if you press and hold it, it will just stay on until you let off. And so, since it's a boost pedal, it's your cool, hey, I just want this one lick to play. You just leave your foot on it.
Nice.
And then you let off. It's like the best feature for a boost pedal. And has anyone, I think Fender just copped it in their new learn.
Oh, yeah. Which honestly, those pedals are really good.
They're good. They're just a little too expensive to really dive into, and they're pretty big.
Expensive and big. Yep.
Their battery compartments are awesome, though.
I haven't looked at that.
It's got a little flip down on the front.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you just got like a board of them all in a row, it's fantastic. But
how long have we been talking for?
So long that I think almost an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I think maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, I think I joined like an hour ago.
we're actually going to post this on. So you know what, everyone, if you happen to listen this far, I hope that we were able to entertain you with our discussions during this time of isolation and social distancing. And I think we're going to shoot to try to do this quite a bit more while this whole thing's going on, because that'll also bump up our download numbers. So wait.
We didn't just do this for my birthday?
No.
Happy birthday, Scott! Wait, hold on. I want to point out that was the most classy way to bring up the fact that it was your birthday.
I thought this was my birthday party. I legitimately thought that.
No, that was better than Michael Scott. I have to say that was 100% better than a Michael Scott. But yeah, so I'm glad we were able to do this for your birthday and hang out. See, this was your birthday party. I asked him, I was like, do you have one of the little small cone hats and like maybe a cupcake? And like, but
I just have a very poorly grown beard. That's all I got right
now. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna look like Hagrid in a week. It's gonna be great.
Say happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Oh.
Hey, you want to say happy birthday? No.
Did you say happy birthday? No.
And Michael's redeemed us.
There we go. All right. So thank you everyone who joined us. Leon jumped on. We've got Mark Schwartz, who's the $2 guy. We've got John. Do you not remember that?
I do. That was like 5 years ago.
I know, but it was still worth bringing up. He's like I'll never let it go. All right, so Mark Schwartz, thank you for joining us. He's been a friend of the show since the beginning because he was on. Weren't you on the episode we did for Carter's Talks Tone?
I
Yeah.
think
So
yeah.
Wasn't
He was
Mark
about
on an
30
episode
seconds-
before when we did the? Didn't we do a Summer Nam roundabout with Mark in it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah. So Mark's been on. Thank you, Michael Newman. Thank you, John Ross. Thank you, Ian Harsh, for
Our ple-
joining us. Did we have someone else join in and leave? I think it was just Leon, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so if you joined in and I forgot about you, I'm sorry. But we'll be doing this again. I'm sure we'll get this posted pretty quick, Scott. And
Yeah, I think this is just a Facebook only thing, so we'll throw it there.
I think we should join it, throw it on Podbean. I'm just saying. But
I don't want to
keep
put
your-
the work in to extract audio and blah 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 blah.
we'll see. We'll see what Scott does because he says that now, but he'll just end up doing it anyways because that's how Scott is. And so we'll keep your eyes out because we'll be throwing a link up again the next time we do this. And if you want to join in, all you have to do is have a phone. It's really the bare necessity and join in. So we appreciate everyone for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Near.
Good chatting with you guys.
Bye.
I'll catch you next time.